into the vibe. Let's go. We legit. It's beyond the edit. We talk real, no script. Lights on, truth drops. Yeah, we never quit. Turn it up, turn it up. This is beyond the edit.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Edit with Sarah Talks. I am your host, Sarah Talks. It's the show where we go past what you saw on the screen and get into what actually happened. Today's episode is one I'm actually kind of nervous and excited for equally. My guest today is someone who's been in the orbit for years. I'm a huge fan. I've watched her work. Somehow this is the first time we've actually talked. She's a journalist and editor with over 15 years in the biz. She's the queen of reality interviews. She has sat down with cast members from every show we love and made them spill everything. And today she is my guest, which means I have to interview the interviewer, which is either the greatest honor of my podcasting career or about to be the most humbling experience I'm not prepared for. But we're about to find out. So please welcome Sharon Tharp.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's so funny. Like, you're nervous. Well, I get nervous when I'm the interviewee. Like, I'm not used to that. Yes.
I was actually just interviewed on someone else's podcast for the first time last week. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. I could do this all day. Like, to be on the other end of it.
Less prep.
Tons less prep. Yeah. It was really fun. It was a different experience. And that was like in a studio and whole professional setup. So it was humbling at times too. I was like, oh, okay, let me go and prep for my podcast now. But so our audiences really overlap. Actually, when I told my Patreons that you were coming, the response was crazy. Like, everyone was probably, oh my gosh, the Queen Sharon, this is huge. And then of course I had to humble brag in our group chat I have with like Teg and Abigail and Sammy, and they're all flipping out, so excited. So.
Oh, I love that. You guys are always so nice to me, and then you share my content and all that good stuff. So I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're the queen. So our Patreon community is super incredible, and one of the perks is supporting the show. You can submit questions to our guests. Like I just said, I gave everyone the tea that you were going to be on. But if your question is selected, then you get to pop on and actually ask it yourself. So I have someone I want to bring in.
Let's do it.
This is Tay. Hey, Tay.
Hi,
hello.
Your question was so good. I want to
I'm scared.
present you the floor and let you ask Sharon yourself.
Okay. Hi, Sharon. I'm Tay. And so who is your favorite Big Brother alumni and that you've interviewed and why?
Oh my gosh, Tay, you're putting me on the spot. It's like when people have to choose between their children, because I do feel like a lot of these people are my children. God, I feel like there's different people I've interviewed that I like for different reasons. I think the one that sticks out as the biggest surprise for me was Dr. Will. I think he hadn't done an interview. This was before Dondi. He hadn't done an interview in years, especially not on video. And, I don't really publicize this, but we've been friends for 10 years, acquaintances, we work together a little bit and stuff like that here and there. And I've been asking him for years. And so when he did it, I just didn't know. You never know what you're going to get with that man. And so it was a pleasant surprise. The interview took weird turns, Sarah, the amount of prep we do for these things, but then sometimes you just have to let a guest go and go with the flow. And so in terms of so that was a nice surprise. But God, there's been so many, getting to talk to June Song a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have her back. Danielle Reyes, I've said this probably a couple of times, but it truly, sometimes as someone who does this, it's easy to forget, you're a fan. But for me, no, because I just, the fact that I can text Danielle Reyes is absolutely crazy. I would be freaking out as a kid. So anyway, things like that make me geek out. And so, yeah, I would say it's hard to pick favorites, but I have superlatives for different people, if that makes sense.
Love that. Tay, thank you so much. Love you.
Thanks so much meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Thank you. Great question.
And then we have one more that was a write-in. This is actually from Jenny Rue. So she's not only one of our Patreon supporters, but she is the talented artist behind all the Beyond the Edit swag. Which
I was going to say, it looks great.
Yeah.
The whole setup.
She did hats and well, I'm terrible at self-promotion. I should have all the swag around here, but she did everything. She did these really cool PR boxes that we just sent out to all the
Wow.
creators. And she wants to know, what was your worst or like most awkward interview and why?
Oh my God. Whew. Awkward. I'm so bad at like coming. God, I need to ask like my patrons, like, because they'll remember. I think I use this one too often in my answers. I think one that comes to mind, or I just really Big Brother 24 was really like not a fun season for me to cover, just with like the Paloma of it all, the like bullet, like it was tough. And then I remember interviewing like Amira, for example, and I think, and I've talked about this a bit, and maybe you can chime in because I know you interview people. And it's just like, you want to hold people accountable to some degree of like what they've done in the house that like isn't great. Like, do I think Amira was like bandwagging on Taylor? But yeah, I do. And so like I asked her some tough questions in that interview. It wasn't awkward. But I do think like it's awkward for me to watch back because I think I give a little grace, a little more grace now. It's like you find that balance between holding people accountable or like asking them questions. I'm a journalist. I need to ask the questions, but also like not putting my opinion in, but also like realizing that they're on a TV show and watch 24/7 and under a lot of stress. It's like, and you're never going to make people happy. And so those are always the tough conversations. So like, I don't even know if that answered the question because it's like really less awkward, but so like, and I'm thinking in terms of Big Brother, but I've had plenty of awkward interviews. Like Zac Efron made me cry once, so that was great.
Okay, no, stop there. I don't know how did he make you cry?
I mean, this was like 10 or 15 years ago. I was at a press junket for this movie called That Awkward Moment with Michael B. Jordan and Miles Teller, who Michael B. Jordan blew up obviously after. And I had interviewed all of them before, and so we had a rapport and it was fine. But I don't know if people know, when you're in these press junkets for movies, they filter in journalists like one after the other.
Like speed dating.
And yes. And you have 4 minutes, sometimes 4 total minutes. And they have a zillion people in the room. They have publicists. They have all these people. They have camera people. Then you got someone in the background behind the actors going like this, like wrap it up. It's just like, and I wasn't comfortable on camera at that point. Like I liked being a writer, not being front facing. And my boss at the time, my editor, was like, play a game with them. Like, and you know how, I don't know, Sarah, if you, like, some people are down to do things and some people are like, not really.
Right.
And so I don't even remember what it was. It was some game about being awkward because that was the like theme of the, and Zac Efron, I think he had a rough day. I think that morning he was on like Good Morning America or Today Show and they like had asked him about a drug issue or something. Like, I think he was like already on edge.
Got it.
Again, this is me giving people grace. But yeah, he was just like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm not playing this game. And I was just like, and then you got people going like this in the background, like you're on camera. And then Michael and Miles are sitting there like, no, Sharon, like we'll play, like it's fine. Like, and I'm just like, and then Zach's just like this. And I literally just talked to him in the hallway and we were fine. We were like chatting. And so I was
that surprises the heck out of me just because look at the movies he's been doing lately. Like
exactly. I don't know. I mean, this again, I think I'll give him grace. Like, I think like if you catch a celebrity on a bad day, like just like if you catch any of us on a bad day, that could be your only impression of them. And so I will say I've met Zach before. I've had a couple instances with him like that actually be great, but generally he's fine. I also give him a little grace because I think growing up as a child star is like a whole other level of wild. But yeah, like I remember I was at the Waldorf Astoria and the interview was just terrible. And like Michael and Miles were trying to save it for me. And it was more awkward than literally awkward.
Yeah.
And I just felt like Zach didn't have to be that kind of like, I'm not doing this, as opposed to just, he didn't have to say anything. I don't know.
Right.
And as like a young journalist, you have an editor who's like, you better get these clips, right? You better do this. You better get this answer. And I just felt like I was letting people down. And I just felt like I took it really personally. And so like, I didn't cry in front of him. I obviously left the room after my 4 minutes and was like bawling by the time I got downstairs. And again, I was probably being dramatic, but it was just, I just think, yeah, you get some guests or some celebrities, you meet them, and they're just not having a great day.
It could be a mixed bag. Yeah.
Yes,
No,
yeah.
and I am the reality celebrity apologist. I said for years and years that who they are in the Big Brother house is not who they're going to be outside of the house. Now, when they come out of the house and they're showing their ass then yeah. But
Yeah,
you
exactly. They double
especially,
down.
yeah, they double down, the Daniels of the world. But yeah, so then, but you get them like immediately after, so they haven't even really gotten even a chance to get caught up. So yeah, if I was in your kind of slot,
It's so
that would
interesting,
be.
Sarah. I don't know if you pick up. I always can tell, like, when you interview someone right after, before they know anything else or what other people are saying about them, it's one thing. And then, like, yeah, when people come to the house, maybe you interview them later, it's like a little bit of revisionist history here and there. You're like, okay. Like, so it's funny you say that because it's true. Like, there's definitely a difference when you interview someone before they have their phone versus after.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever said this like on air. I think I just said it to somebody at a watch party, but I was in communication with social media handler his time in the house because we were doing things local. And I was just like, yeah, we're just kind of like cheering in DMs. And I was like, I know that you're about to hand over your phone to him. So I just want to type out this like one message for him. If I could get nothing else to him, just please pass this along. He's going to come through a lot of criticism. And like the most golden thing, a response he could have is, I thought at the time this. And my perspective at the time was this. And then just have him tell people he wants to go and back and watch everything. Just have him really push and answer. He wants to go back and watch because nothing calms the masses more than that answer. And it kind of
Yep.
gives some wiggle room.
Yep.
Anyone.
Sarah, I think we should be giving advice to I honestly tell every person that comes out of the house, if you need anything, call me, because I don't think it's easy. And I think you're right. There are ways to handle it that maybe they don't see, that could just like, yeah, just not have people come after them and be so riled up. But unfortunately, some of them don't realize that or just don't care. And it's just like, they rile up the fans even more. And yeah, it's just rough.
It gets messy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I saw that. So before the reality side of things, you've interviewed Ariana Grande, which I'm like, I can't.
I love her.
Oh my gosh. And Meghan Markle, and you just said Zac Efron. Like, how did the shift happen? And because I know you're a fan too. Like, I know, like, you're in it. You're watching live feeds. You are in the BB Twitter streets. How were you always a fan and just not covering it, or?
Yeah, that's essentially what it was. Like, I always watched Big Brother and Survivor and all these shows, and I was always into, I mean, I've been watching The Challenge too since the beginning. I fell off a little bit, but always watched reality TV. When I worked at a bunch of magazines and different outlets. I was mostly covering like more general news, or like I was doing a lot of movie junkets, TV. I've been to a lot of TV sets, stuff like that. So I was covering TV, but more scripted. And then I remember around Big Brother 14, I love Dan. Obviously, he's my favorite player. I asked to interview him. I was working at like a small website that doesn't exist. And he's like, yeah, he was like so chill about it. And so I did that and I just loved it. And I was like, damn, I got to be covering Big Brother because like, this is what I like. And I want my job to be what I like. And again, I'm not complaining. I get to interview really cool people, but I wanted to go a little bit more into reality TV. And then obviously once, like, I feel like Big Brother 22, around then, I just started doing it more for Us Weekly. Like, no one was doing it Us Weekly. And I'm like, well, if no one's doing it, I'll do it. And then of course, like once Traders and all these networks started leaning more into reality TV, like over the last 5 years, I've just like doubled down on it. And obviously all that. So yeah, I actually cover less traditional TV, but I was really into scripted. Like, I actually wanted to be a TV writer. I wanted to write a book. Like, my career trajectory has changed a little bit, but I'm very lucky. I love covering. I mean, there's good and bad of covering reality TV, of course.
Yes. And there's a lot of judgments too. And I'm like, actually, studies show that people who are into reality television are highly intelligent. And I always have to like throw studies at people because I'm like, there's like negative connotation with reality television.
I think it annoys me when, I hate to say this, but like, even if like I'm like talking to like a man and they're like, oh, reality TV. And I'm like, if you're looking down on me, like, get out of here. Like, yeah, I think I don't like the notion that you you're a smart, intelligent woman, you have a great job, you have a great life, you have a great family. But if you talk about reality TV, that's like trashy. It's like, no, we're multifaceted people. We can like get a lot of things. So I always hated that.
We're talking drama, but we're also talking, I mean, topics. There's no other platform where you can watch real people, like the microcosm of society, as it will. But we're talking race issues. We're talking gender issues. I mean, there's so many layers of psychology involved.
So true.
This is people studies.
Yep.
I feel like this is one of the highest forms of intelligent television if you look deep enough.
Yeah.
Do you watch any like Housewives or like Bravo side of things?
It's funny. I watch everything on Bravo minus the Housewives.
Okay.
I've covered the Housewives like years ago. They asked me to cover. They needed someone to cover Atlanta, and I did that for a couple of years because I wanted to make a little bit of money, extra money. So I was covering Atlanta. Used to cover the X Factor. Remember that show?
Oh my gosh.
And like American Idol, I used to cover. But yeah, Housewives. I've dipped my toes. Like I've seen a little bit of Jersey and New York. I've seen a little bit of Orange County, but it's just there's so many franchises that with Big Brother, Survivor, like it's just too much for me to keep up. But I do keep up on Summer House, Southern Charm, Top Chef, all of this Southern Hospitality, all those ones.
Okay, so you were covering or you're keeping up with all the ones that I'm not. I'm very new to the Bravo world. And
so maybe we're opposite. Okay.
We are very opposite because I have seen all of Salt Lake City and Potomac. I just started Beverly Hills. I'm up to season 7 of Beverly Hills. And I started season 1 of Atlanta. But that's it.
See, I need to do that. I need to just like slowly go through all of them.
That's what I've been doing in the like non-feed time. And there's only so much I can do talk about Survivor when it's one episode a week and no live feeds. So
yep.
It is what it is. So with your editorial background and like TV making, you've been kind of in it. Does it change how, like, now that you know how the sausage is made, do you watch these shows differently?
I mean, I watch them differently because I will, yes and no. I think, I do sometimes not like covering the show. I think it takes away a little bit of my enjoyment when I'm like, shit, I got to do an exit interview. I got to write questions. I got to write, like, it's like a list of things you have to do and that's never fun. But I always obviously remember, well, this is a fun job. So there's that part. But then, God, I just lost my train of thought. What was the question again?
Does it affect how, like, knowing how the sausage made? Like, are you looking at it through a different lens?
But like
when you were growing up?
Yes, I will say I do a little bit. Like going on set of shows definitely gives you a different perspective of how things are made. Like I am still a huge like Vampire Diaries fan. I was like really into teen dramas. That's what I wanted to do in my career. I wanted to like write a teen drama. I still do. And then I went to that set and it's just like, yeah, it just gives you a different perspective. You're like, it takes you out of like, especially in the romantic setting, you're like, oh, these people, like, I don't know. It gives you a different thing. When it comes to reality TV, maybe not as much. I mean, like Big Brother, whenever I'm there, because I guess it's live and it already is, it feels very normal and organic. It doesn't feel like, yeah, I think Survivor was crazy just because the amount of people watching around them is crazy. Like when you're at camp, there's 3 different audio crews. So you got of 3 people. You got an audio guy.
You're talking about like when you go to the island for pre-interviews and stuff before the season kicks off?
No, I mean like on camp, like when they're filming and they're like, say they're at camp. I got to go to the camps and see them just like living, which was so weird. And so there were like 3 different camera crews, it was a tribe of 6, and there's 3 different camera crews with 3 people each on so that's 9 people. Then there's a producer or 2. It's just like, and they're like right in your face. You would think like maybe they're like far away from the contestants, but no, they're like right up in their face. Like, so that was kind of weird. Like, I think seeing those kinds of things make me think like, oh my God, like they're really not truly like alone. Like there's some illusion there. And then also I think I posted a picture of me doing a challenge and there's a zillion camera people in the back. There's got to be 100 people. on set during challenges, and everyone was like, oh my God, I can't, like, didn't realize how many people were there. So it's yes and no. Like, it doesn't really change anything for me, but it definitely gives you perspective of like, wow, this is like, it's cool. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so this is wow, but I grew up in the wrestling industry. My dad was really involved in like wrestling.
Oh my God, I used to love wrestling.
And it ruined it for my dad will try to talk to me about stuff and I'm like, okay.
Like, who cares?
I don't wanna, yeah. But he has some really like, I mean, he'll tell me these really cool stories, and he just like refereed a Ric Flair match, and he's a ref now. And so I'm excited for him, but now like I can't watch those objectively. I did like a wrestling training camp with him. I know the moves. And I feel like with Big Brother specifically, I was in it. I started as a fan, but because of my ADHD, I have to go all in or nothing. So it's live feeds. And then I started doing Joker's updates. And then similar to you, no one was talking about on TikTok. So I made a TikTok account to start talking about it. And I just have to go all in on everything I do. But now that I'm covering it and stuff, I watch it and I really try hard to like watch it through like casual eyes or fan eyes when I'm watching the episode.
It's tough.
It's tough. It's really tough. And I feel like by the end of the season, everyone's like, oh, it's almost over. I'm like, oh my God, it's almost over. Yeah. I just want that hibernation, you know, and to go into Thanksgiving and break.
Interesting. I think I was gonna say for scripted, it does take me out a little bit when I know the actor. Like I've become friendly with some people over the years, and then if I see them in something and you know that person, that takes me out of the moment a little bit. So maybe more on the scripted side. Yeah, it's like weird to like see your friend act or something, you know?
Right. No, that would mess me up too. I'd probably be laughing the whole time, even if it was like a
exactly.
Yeah. Well, I want to get into like the parasocial part of this, and I know everyone hears me talk about the why I started the show, and it's because the fan base needs to touch grass more often. And as I've been getting to know more and more people as they come out of the house and in real life and these watch parties and the community side of it, it's painted such a better picture for me of what these house guests are up against and what the edit does, which is why the show's called Beyond the Edit. So before we get into this, I just want to take a second because I realized that I throw this term around as loosely as the internet does. And I just want to actually define parasocial and know so that you can fully understand, everyone listening can understand where it came from. So like these two sociologists, Donald and Richard, I'm not even going to try to butcher their last names. They were studying how television audiences were developing what they called intimacy at a distance. And they like literally use that term, intimacy at a distance. And it's a one-sided relationship, very stalker-esque, where the viewer feels like they genuinely know someone and the person that they feel like they know doesn't even know they exist. So if you fast forward that to now, it's exploded because of the internet, basically. And it's the conditions for parasocial attachments are like everywhere. In the reality space, there was actually a thesis written in 2011, LSU, where they looked at parasocial relationships specifically around reality television. And they found that because of the diary rooms, because of confessionals, because of live feeds, we were experiencing what's called like raw emotions directly into the camera. They're looking at you, they're crying at you, and your brain processes that the same way it processes a real relationship. And so I feel like in this space specifically, the passion, the protectiveness, the anger, the obsession, it's not just people being weird on the internet, even though it is, there's like real psychology underneath it. So I really wanted to like dig into this because you are so familiar with the BB streets and from covering it from both sides. You've covered like celebrities at like every level. Do you notice like what are the primary differences you notice between like fan attachments to like red carpet celebrities versus like reality stars?
Yeah, that's a great point. I almost feel like statistically, I feel like actual celebrities have probably fewer crazy people. Like I think they have a lot, but they're few and far between. I just feel like the reality space is like they're way more connected to them than like a person they've seen in a movie. Although, you know, we hear about stalkers all the time, which is scary. Like Taylor Swift, I'm sure, has a lot of them or whatever. But like, yeah, I think it's almost like
Like
those
they're
people
more
are more
accessible.
reality TV they're more accessible. I was gonna say that they don't have bodyguards and stuff, so it's actually kind of scarier. I also think because they're not celebrities, they don't have security, like it's easier to find where people live. Like I do think there's just that's another reason similar to you. I empathize with a lot of these people. Like again, yes, we can always say, hey, they chose to go on TV. They absolutely did. But that doesn't mean that I don't have compassion when, you know what I mean? Like I don't, and I don't fault fans for necessarily like having sort of expectations. I just think there's a line, and I think more of us need to know what that line is.
Yeah. Don't leave Yelp reviews on their place of employment or send threats to
Exactly.
their family members. People ask me all the time, like, "Oh, would you ever do Big Brother? You'd be so good on Big." Caitlin was my last guest, Caitlin Herman, and she was like, "Oh, you need to go on Big Brother." And I was like, "I won't do any show where my family is exposed to the fan base where I can't get to them. Like they can't get
It's
to
so
me
true.
because if they can't get to me, then they're going to try to get to them." So pre-recorded
It's
all
scary.
the way. um, um, do you think production, well, we know like production kind of has a responsibility in their edit, with how far they go with the villain edit of it all, or how they splice certain things together. But do you think that the shows specifically properly prepare the house guests, or the castaways, for when they come out of the show for what to expect?
I would say yes and no. I think they do what they feel is enough, which, they get trained, they have to do like little trainings before they film. And like, it's, I think they have to go through, I don't know if they have to go through diversity training anymore. I don't even know what's currently going on, but, and then obviously after the show, they usually set them up with like a therapist, or like for Survivor, I was talking to Savannah, they set her up with a nutritionist, stuff like that. So like, yes, they like check those boxes of like, okay, let's take care of our people. At the end of the day though, this is a conglomerate, like this is a media business. And I do think at a lot of times they're at the mercy of advertisers and people higher than we think. So I think it's yes and no. Could they be doing a better job? Yes. But I think that's the nature, unfortunately, of being in the television business. It's like at the end of the day, all they care about is how much money they're making. That's literally the bottom line. So it's tough to answer. And also the other thing is like a lot of people at the network, they have say in certain things, but so everyone has a boss too. So like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily like say, okay, if this happened, people love to shit on Allison and Rich for sure. And I'm sure that they're responsible for a lot of decisions, especially like game mechanics and how things like that we are not always happy with. But like when it comes
The
to
Wheel of
like
Death.
exactly. But when it comes to like other things or like bigger things, like we don't know who's telling them what. We don't know if the network is saying, bring back returning players. We need ratings. Do that. Oh, Rachel brought in ratings last year. Okay, now you're bringing back play. Like we have no clue what's being told to them. And so I usually don't love to like point fingers if I'm not sure like whose fault it is.
Yeah.
But I do think it's not wrong to criticize these networks and shows. Like at the end of the day, we're viewers. We're paying for these services to watch. I'm a journalist. My job is not to acquiesce to everything a network tells me. And this is like kind of why I've been frustrated with like certain podcasters, not in our world, but like, the Alex Coopers and the Nick Viles who, and thank you, by the way, for not sending me questions ahead of this interview because I wouldn't have wanted you to because, I've had networks tell me, oh, can we see the questions before you interview so-and-so? No, you can't because that's not how this works. And so I think some people would just do whatever they say. I'm not like that. I play nice. Like I am never going to be rude. I'm always going to try to work with the networks and work with these people, but I'm also not like their lapdog, right? And so
Right.
this has come up a lot over the years, not even just with networks, with personal celebrity publicists who have threatened me that they will cut me off from their clients if I don't change this headline. And guess what I say? Cut me off. You guys need me more than I need you. Goodbye. So I think
that.
yeah. So I think it's like complicated. It's like, I think there's a responsibility there to take care of their talent for sure. Are they doing the best job? Not really, like not always. But again, I don't know who to blame because I don't know who's necessarily responsible for everything. I think for Survivor, Jeff is obviously, like, for example, Jeff has way more say than a Julie Chen. Like when people don't get mad at Julie because like she's not making any of those decisions, you know?
No,
So
no.
it's tough.
I think what they need is they need a room. They just need like a little control room. So when you like you come out of the house or you come off the island or what I mean, island's different because they're in with all the fans are reacting to things. But specifically Big Brother, I think you need to put them in a room with like me, you, Taryn, and like we just need to give them like the social media scanning, like, hey, these are the hot button topics. This is what people saw. This is what people are upset by.
Sarah,
Digest
I'm
it.
with you.
And, yeah.
I'm with you. Like I have said this, I think to Taryn before too. I think we could, maybe I'm just being like pompous. I think we could do a better job of downloading these people when they get out and also just giving them a little advice because this is the other thing. And again, no shade to a certain CBS or anything, but they're not as online as some people might
Their
think.
algorithms are way different than ours.
Like, yes, they have people running their social media, which I think in the last year or two has changed, and they're actually kind of funny. Some of their social media now.
The interns, yeah.
But other than that, like a lot of the people at the network aren't in the BB streets. They don't know like what's going on. I mean, again, not to say too much, but like I've had to flag things that I've seen that they are completely unaware of. So I think when people are like, I can't believe they did this or what, I'm like, I don't even know if they were aware, like, you know, but
no, it's what we talk about all the time too. I'm like, I mean, I obviously get very frustrated and I kind of go back and forth a lot with the edits where I'm like, that's literally not even what happened. I mean, we could talk about like Ashley Hollis and how the casual fan base was like, she literally did nothing. And the live feeders were like, hey, that's not true. And it came down to the editors making a snap decision early in the season that she wasn't going to make it very far. So let's not show any of her stuff. I get that that's just kind of a roll of the dice. They get grace from me there. I will also tell when people get really upset about certain edits when I'm having to correct, like, this is not how this went down. This is how it went down. However, how you can't explain this in a 44-minute episode. This is a lot more digestible to how we got to this decision. So there's that. I think that there's been a long-standing debate in the BB streets specifically on we get a lot more fluff than we need to in the episodes.
Yeah.
Where if they really wanted to tell the true story, a lot of times they could. And I do feel like there needs to be some kind of house guest advocate on the editing team that can kind of, who's familiar with how things will be received. Is this going to be received? And not that they care, because if it's controversial, it'll get people talking. Yep. So this is a discussion that we just kind of all go circles in.
There's so many things. There's so many things like that they could do to, like, again, like improve the show a little bit. Like, I think I've said before, even to Taryn, like, if they had just asked our advice, like, we probably could give them a couple pointers. Like, I'm not saying we could solve the show, but like, and like, even with BB Unlocked, I remember when Derek and Taylor started that, I talked to both of them and I was giving them ideas of like, show us more that we didn't see when the feeds were down. Show us I was the one that was like, Derek, I was like, you gotta get people's family members. I used to love those segments because I'm like, we want to like, so when they started doing that and listening to them, I was like, oh, this is great. And so, and the ratings went up. So again, I liked
BB Unlocked. I know they had very mixed like receptions, but I enjoyed it.
I think sometimes people in the Big Brother world like to complain just to complain. And I understand a lot of people don't like Derek. I get it. I have no issue with him. He's a friend of mine. But yeah, I think there was a lot of like bandwagoning. Is that a word in BB? Where it's like, like how many times? Listen, guys,
Survivor has it too.
They all have it.
Survivor probably even worse. Like,
you think so?
Oh, old era versus new era all
true.
day long.
There you go.
And, I mean, I've even gotten wrapped up into like, okay, so Jeff's rapping and
Oh
singing
God.
rock songs and now doing impersonations and now like
Someone needs to be on set being like, Jeff,
Jeff, it's a no.
chill.
This is
It's a no. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the old era versus new era debates and then debate on my first season of Big Brother Live was season 15.
Oh God.
Yeah, what a season to discover the show.
Were you like, is this the show? Is this what
Yeah.
happens?
I was very pregnant and on bed rest, and I had a friend that would come over. Shout out Tiff. She would come over and like hang out with me when my husband couldn't be home, just in case something happened. And when they were BB nights, she would say, like, I'm taking the TV, and she'd turn on Big Brother. I got hooked. Was actually in labor with Jackson. It was not the finale, the episode before the finale. And we were just kind of waiting for push time. And my grannies were in the corner of the room, just like chit chatting. I had my mom kick him out so I could finish the episode in peace. So Jackson was quite literally like brought into this world in the Big Brother sphere. But that season in particular, I've talked about, I was like, I should do like a deep dive on it because I feel like that was the last time. That's when like the decline kind of happened as far for authenticity from the edit for me. As problematic as season 15 was, they showed it all. And
can we talk about this? Because that is a great point. And this is something that like, I think people get confused about like, well, or not confused. I think people debate what they should show and what they shouldn't, and when they should kick someone out of the house. And I know that like, if someone is inherently a racist, yeah, I don't want them competing on a show. I'm not rooting for them, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, this is supposed to be a microcosm of society. And unfortunately, I don't know how these people get past casting, but if they do, okay, let's show it. Let's show the world that, hey, racism isn't over, homophobia. Like, I think those conversations, at least from me, are important to show. And I agree with you. I think after BB15, they locked it up more. They were protecting people more. Yes. And it's like, I think it's having the opposite effect. It's not helpful. I don't know. I hate. Oh no,
this is a hot topic for me, and we kind of get into this every year because for 15 specifically, they didn't hide it. They gave us a disclaimer. That was the birth of the disclaimer. Like, hey, we don't align with these are real people. But they clocked them on it when they came out of the house, and they let the events unfold as they would. And as somebody who grew up, my mom did an amazing job at exposing me to multiple cultures and a way of thinking. She raised me in a household that just inclusivity and stuff, it just came very naturally to me. But what I didn't know until I was an adult, I didn't really realize that we grew up in a very small conservative country town with zero diversity whatsoever. And you wouldn't know by meeting me because of the way, like the things that my mom did to enrich my childhood.
Right.
But that is not the case for everyone. And so I know from being in these small towns, there's a lot of people like, oh, that stuff doesn't happen anymore. Or might not even realize, like in a show like this, I feel like situations like 15 cause organic conversations to happen in living rooms that wouldn't normally happen.
Exactly. Yep. That's why I'm like, as ugly as it is, I would rather show it because again, I don't know how it would have went if like Aaron, for example, like lasted long. Like I think it gets a little tricky. And maybe these are game time decisions, and there's not a one size fits all, because that's another thing. It's like they pick and choose sort of what's against the rules and what's not sometimes, and I'm just like it's just a dangerous game to play. But yeah, I mean, look at Taylor's season and the Kyle conversations that they cut from the feeds. Right. And those were really, really important conversations, not just to the game and the situation, but to add context to things that we had as the feeders. We had just enough to know what was going on, but without the context of the meetings that followed, people were filling in the blanks themselves, which is even more dangerous than just showing what was actually said. Exactly. Yeah. But also, like, I'm not a big fan of cancel culture. Like, I think that actually has the opposite effect. I think then people get like, again, I don't want to name names, but people double down and then become mean and angry and a horrible person, even worse, as opposed to just like, hey, you need to learn some shit in life. Excuse my language. But
No.
yeah, I think these conversations are interesting. I don't know if it's like a one size fit all, but I think showing it is that's what Big Brother was built on, right? Like getting different people from different walks of life.
Yeah. We talk about like how season 8 would go over in today.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. No. The Gen Zers would lose their minds.
It would be insane. Yeah. I will say we've been very fortunate that we've of course had problematic house guests over the years, but I think I could probably count on one hand how many came out of the house and continue to cause problems. There's only one that I'm mutually blocked.
Yeah.
So
I could probably guess who that is. Actually, there might be one or two. I don't know.
Again, Elvis music for me. So
yeah, okay, got it. I don't even talk about that man. They're just the people that like again double down. I think they just want to be the opposition as opposed to like. But again, I think sometimes the Big Brother fandom leans in so hard that it's just tricky. That's why like. I'd rather ignore people. Like if they come out of the house and they're not a good person, I'm not feeding into the bullshit. I don't talk to them because I don't want to feed their whatever. I don't know.
That's what I tell everyone else. I'm like, guys, if you don't like someone and they're doing a Q&A live, go in and ask your question. Be respectful. But like, if you want to ask them, but I guarantee you, like chances are there's nothing that you have to ask them about or something you want them to be held accountable for that Sharon, Taryn, or somebody else didn't already ask them, like, so unless you have something new to bring to the table, like, just leave them alone. Like, you can either choose to like them and continue to follow them and like be in their orbit and watch their content, or just don't. And
yeah, I think, you know who I will give a little bit of props, even though this might not be a popular opinion, but this is just me being real. I thought like a Jared Fields coming out of the house handled it pretty well. He did not go on some tear of like, yeah, I'm perfect and I didn't do anything wrong. He kind of owned it a little bit and then just again disappeared for a while, which is I think a good thing to do. Yes. And so that would probably be my advice, right? Like apologize, own your shit, say you're, whatever, like fixing, like working on yourself, and then just disappear. Like you don't need to be on TikTok or Instagram doing. Yeah. I think that's the move. If you really want to show people that you're willing to learn and grow. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, first I have to ask, what shows would you play, if any? Would you play any?
I would play any of them if they weren't on TV. But I don't really want to be on TV. I mean, I think my answer lately has just probably been The Traitors, just because it's short. I'm not a very good liar though. But I played a couple games of Mafia and stuff. Survivor, I always said hell no, and it's really hard. Like I ran a couple challenges last year. It was not easy. But again, if it wasn't on TV, I would do it. But I don't really want to be on TV. I am a very sensitive person. Even in my comments, like everyone's mostly nice, but I had a really rough summer with the Rachel stuff that one week. Oh my God.
Really?
The fandom was like, they somehow blamed me for the Rachel hamster wheel. It was wild.
Okay. I didn't see any of those comments. I believe you. I'm saying I would have been. It's kind of like when they went after Mike Bloom and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. They're like turning on us. And I'm like, guys, they actually think I have Allison Grodner has no idea who I am. First of all, like I met her on set for the first time. She knew I was a journalist, but she doesn't know me. Like I said, these people are not in the BB streets like people think. But yeah, I just feel like we get heat sometimes, but it's like, listen, I give the information as best as I can. And, Big Brother can change their like I think I had said the feeds are going to go back X day or X time. Yeah. And then when they didn't, people like lost their minds.
I remember that.
I was like, that they can change their mind, right? Like I'm giving real information in real time, but this is like an ongoing live show. So
yes.
Anyway,
where production realized that they royally fucked up and they had to scramble. That's my theory.
Yeah. So I took it really hard just because I'm not used to getting that much hate. And I think people are being really nasty to me. And even to the point where Brendan called me and was like, I'll go on Patreon live with you because like this is ridiculous. Like I'm seeing these comments and people are blaming you as if I want my friend Rachel to like leave the house like that. So I think that scares me away from ever doing reality TV.
I get that.
Would you do it?
Yes, and no. I am very sensitive too, and I pretend to be tough, and I don't feed the trolls. I will get comments sometimes, and I'm like, oh, thanks for the engagement. But then I'll sit there and like I'll really think about, or I'll screenshot it and send it in my Discord and like vent in my Discord.
Exactly,
like my people.
I love that.
It's very unfiltered in my Discord, but and everybody gets like PR response for me on TikTok. But yeah, as long as I could protect my family, so like pre-recorded, and at home when it airs. So I did apply for the civilian season of Traitors.
Okay.
I don't expect a phone call, at least not for the first civilian season. They're gonna want lawyers and doctors or whatever. They're not gonna want reality podcast people. Let's
see.
And then I my new love of Extracted. Do
I need to watch this?
You do. Okay. So you were just talking about like Survivor and how they have the crew and they're never really alone. Extracted, they're like legit alone with a GoPro.
Or like a drone or something.
There's like a camera posted up at their tree, like at their little station, their spot. And then they have like a GoPro situation. They have 2 family members. I would be one of the family members. My sister would be the survivalist. Back in HQ, they're giving nothing, Sharon, nothing, not rice, nothing, no fire making. And if I do like win a challenge to send her supplies, it's not a flint, it's a bow drill, which is like a stick.
God.
Legit Survivor. We watched, one of the people were sleeping and they were watching back at HQ on the cameras, like a bear was walking right up on them when they were sleeping. The thing is if you're the survivalist, you cannot quit. You cannot be extracted until your family in HQ pushes the button to extract you.
Oh my God.
They have to make the decision for you.
And you're like, let me do this? You want to do it?
My sister's the one that called me and was like, hey, I want to do this. And you and my husband, like her husband, Ricky, you are my HQ team. I was like, what are you talking about? And I watched it and I was like, oh, I would crush this. Me and her husband would make an incredible HQ team. Sandra was just on it with her daughter and her son.
Oh, I need to watch this. Okay.
And then Annalise from Big Brother.
Yeah.
She was just on it with her sister was the survivalist and her mom were in HQ.
Oh my God. I am so is there 1 season out or 2?
2. We just finished the 2nd season.
Okay.
So
yeah, I've seen the ads everywhere, but I'm just like, I haven't had time, but I'm gonna check it out.
It's really good. And it's like the strategy part in HQ is just, it's everything that I like crave in these shows, which that leads me to another question for you. Like, what are your favorite types of players? Are you wanting like the dramatic, the characters, the villains, the strategists? Who do you enjoy watching?
Maybe it differs for each show. For Big Brother, I love the strategists. Like I mean, again, I hate to say it with Dan again, but like, I just remember watching Tiffany. Oh my God. I
feel like Rachel's strategy was textbook this last season.
She did great this season. I mean, her social game also was great. But yeah, on Big Brother, I care more about that. I'm more invested in the strategic like movement of the house. Like I find that really, really cool. But for Survivor, funny enough, I love a villain on Survivor, like especially a female villain.
Okay.
Like
and also,
the thing is, I hate that term villain because like even like, and I was asking them on the red carpet, like even like a Savannah, a D. I don't know if D is not really a villain, but she's such like a boss ass bitch. Like those are the kind of women I love to watch play. Like, okay, yeah, even on Big Brother, like you got your Vanessas, you got your Tiffany's. It's a little different on Survivor, but I just love that character because I feel like I would want to play like that. Like I would want to have, you know, and I know a lot of people like sort of the nerdy types on Survivor. I don't really resonate with that archetype as much. But yeah,
I'm Christian. I adore Christian.
Christian as a person is amazing. When I interviewed him, I was just like encapsulated by like everything he was saying. I think, and on screen, I do think when he has that strategic side of him, like I think it's really fun. Like him and Devon's, like that was fun. But I do think it's on Survivor, at least. This is my gripe. I feel like they over edit sort of the nerdy type sometimes. like Jeff giving him his last name, like referring to him. Like, I think there's like a favoritism a little bit with the nerdy people. I don't know why. Like,
They might be more fan favorite or fan like popular, maybe.
They're very popular in the community too, but for some reason, those are just not my favorite players to watch.
I just watched Christian's first season like 3 months ago. David versus Goliath. When I watched that, I was texting Teg with and Abigail, and I was like, I'm obsessed with this man.
Interesting. See, I didn't like him.
But I've always gravitated towards the nerd. My house is filled Harry Potter, Star Wars. My dad same way. Like, so it's it's very familiar to me. But I also find it just like really funny. And then I really liked Mike White too. But Michaela is probably like my favorite of all the women in Survivor. And I found
Michaela from
The Challenge. I discovered her on
Millennials.
Challenge. Yeah. So I found her on the first time I watched her was a season of The Challenge. I think it was Challenge USA, but I watched her on The Challenge and I was like, I love everything about her. And they're like, and I think it was Abigail was like, you have to watch her season.
She's even better on Survivor, I feel like.
She is. And like, and then I did get to meet her at a Bryson Wynn party, and I don't get like really starstruck a lot of times, but she was one of them. And I was very nervous to approach Quinn, which is so funny because now we're very comfortable and been to a million events together. But Quinn and Michaela were the two. I was like, I need a few drinks before I introduce myself.
Michaela's hilarious. I mean, I loved Michaela Millennials versus Gen X, and when she came back for Game Changers, I was like a huge JT fan back in the day for Tocantins. I think it was because I was like probably a teenager and like had a crush on him or something. I don't know. But when she was dragging JT in Game Changers, have you seen Game Changers? Did you watch it yet?
No. So we have. They've sent me clips and stuff like that, and then I watched her first
coffee.
One, yeah.
Michaela just like eats these men up, and it's just hilarious to me. Like, she knows how to do it in such like a funny but cutting way. I don't know. I just love it.
Yes. I loved her in this. I feel like this last season of The Challenge was like the best one I've ever seen. I haven't seen a whole lot of seasons of The Challenge, but this last one was like my favorite. The Vets versus New Threats. It was her and Cedric on a team, and loved it. It was so good. Well, I know I teased it in a minute, but I do want to get to our game. Instead of like a lie, betray, backstab, I want to play I want to get you to rank your friends, these alumni.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you a grouping of 3 people and ranking from like your first pick, second pick to third pick. Who would you want to see play in like an all-star season?
Okay.
So if you have to choose between, so nothing too like shady.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
You have relationships to maintain. I get that. But
I'll tell them to their face. That's fine.
The first group is Rachel Riley, Dan Giesling, and Josh Martinez.
Oh, that's tough. I'm only putting Rachel last because we just saw her, and I do think I'm kind of mad how Big Brother kind of effed her over. So I'd rather see her go on Survivor, so I'm gonna put Rachel last. I think I love Josh, and I think Josh knows how to make good TV, clearly, if you're watching La Casa or getting clips of La Casa. Dan is my favorite player though, so I feel like I have to put Dan first, though. I would want to see Dan play because I want to see an all-winner season, or an all legend, whatever we want to call it, a shortened season. I would want to see Dan, Josh, and then Rachel, I think.
Okay. I would love to see. I need Josh to get like I need casuals and the fan base to appreciate him the way I appreciate him. And I feel like he would do that with another
That man has given so much to the Big Brother. He's just so good. I love him. Yeah.
I would love to see Dan play live. I was very disappointed with, not in him, but like with the Traders, how Traders like.
Yeah.
But I did say like Traders is a very fast paced game and Dan is a slow paced player. So I feel like that didn't, he's a strategist, but it
doesn't tarnish his legacy on Big
Brother.
No,
not at all. No, I think we hyped it up in our heads. We're like, Dan is going to crush this. And then it was very apparent that Dan is incredible at what he does. But he does what he does in a long game format.
Yep.
So the next grouping would be Parvati, Sari, and Christian. which I feel like now I know kind of this answer.
For their own shows or for Big Brother? For
like if they had like if they had like a returning, I did like Survivor and Big Brother separate. So like if we had like a returning,
okay, so we're not
Survivor.
Suri on Big Brother because she would never do Big Brother anyway.
No, let's put them on Survivor, like an all-star Survivor. Well, like a season 50.
Got it. It's Christian, Parvati, and Suri.
Yes.
I'm going to put Suri first just because I want to see her win. If she doesn't win this season, like, I know everyone's like, oh, we've seen Suri. Yeah, okay, well, I don't care. I would put her first. I'd put Parv second just because I love Parv. But Christian, no offense to him, I think it's just like, he's just not my favorite to watch. I prefer to watch the other women.
Yeah. Everybody likes different flavors of ice cream. They're all good, though.
Yeah, it's not like I dislike Christian, by the way. It's hard to answer these questions.
This one, the last one, I have to get like to my Texas peeps. So Kat Dunn, Keanu, or Quinn Martin.
Oh,
even though he's Oklahoma, but he's always here.
You know what? I think Kat will be first. I'll give her first because I think Kat would be really fun on a second run. I think she knows more about the show. I think she knows how to make good TV. I feel like Kat would be a fun to watch. I'd put Quinn second. I also think Quinn would play similarly, but I don't know. I would like to watch Quinn play again. And I think put Keanu last because, again, nothing against Keanu. I really actually think he's a nice guy. But I just like the winning of the competitions isn't the most exciting game for me. So that's the only reason.
Right. I think it would be interesting to see Keanu play now that what he's played before into that I want to see how I'm excited to see him on the challenge, but I think is that out public? I feel like it's out.
Oh, I mean,
I know it's all over and everybody's already seen the photos and stuff, but I don't know if they officially released it or not.
I don't know. I mean,
I've been talking about it on my social. He's there.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see that.
Follow that. I don't follow that because I'm like, and thank God they did this with 50. It's like, okay, just release the cast. We all know what it is, you know?
Right. Yes. We've all known. I actually stay very far and I'm very, very good at staying away from Survivor spoilers.
Oh, me too. I have to. Otherwise it kind of ruins everything for me.
Yes. And I'm like one of my nicknames is Spoiler Spice because of Big Brother, but I'm like, it's different. Survivor's different. I want to go in blind. Yeah. And people already know or saying, I saw a video. It was Ryan Irwin. I don't know if you follow him. Love Ryan.
Right. Yeah.
He's a stand-up comedian. He's so talented, but he covers all this stuff. And he's like, here are my theories about who's going, or he said something like, the preview for next week kind of told us all who's going next. I was like, scroll, like, and I feel really bad because I wanted to give him the engagement.
Oh,
I don't want to taint my perspective on the episode, which airs tonight, but this episode comes out on Monday, so we're in the future.
I agree.
Okay. So what is coming up for you that you can share? I'm assuming on the heels of like, you're doing Survivor exit interviews, but is there anything else?
So right now I'm doing Survivor exit interviews. I'm recapping them every week with a former player. My most recent one, when this will be out, will be Sophie Bellardi. And I already watched tonight's episode. I just got it and it's a good one. So there's a lot to talk about. Exit interviews. I'm actually doing Top Chef exit interviews. I'm a huge Top Chef fan. And I feel like that's sort of an untapped market. Like I don't really do it for views because, you know, I don't know if the views are there, but it's just, I love that show. And then of course I'm like gearing up for Big Brother. I'm working on a rebrand. My podcast is still going to be called The Exclusive, but just like freshen up. It's been 3 years. I want to just like sort of, you know, freshen my logo up, make it cooler. I don't know. Get a website going and just like be ready for Big Brother. Cause I'm excited. I'm going to try to do more content. I'm going to go live on Twitch more. So yeah, just working on I can't believe it's going to be Big Brother season soon.
I know. The prep has already started on my end. I have to, I have the BB Bible.
Oh my God. I've used that. I've looked at that before. Actually, it's amazing that you do that.
The BB Bible has a lot of pre-work that goes into it. And by the time the feeds go live, all of my templates, everything, my logs, my recording devices, because sometimes I have to step into meetings or something. So I have like recorders that go on the live feed so that I can backtrack and watch what I just missed during a meeting. It's a whole lifestyle change. So.
Yeah, credit to you. And also, like, I don't think people realize, like, this is not easy. Like, I'm pretty much a one-woman show. I have someone who helps me with social media, but like, especially during Big Brother season, there's so many moving parts, booking guests, which I don't know if you can relate to this, Sarah, but like, reality stars can be flaky. They don't like, sometimes they'll ghost you. Oh, sorry, I'm back. So like, there's just like a lot going on. And so totally get that. It's, you got to start planning now, because otherwise
girl, I launched this podcast with 9 guests lined up, 9 people. Like, I'm in, this is awesome. And it went silent when it send the link invite to schedule or whatever. And it just was crickets. I was like, okay, I need another episode. Like, and I was getting a little worried. I do have my next guest scheduled and lined up, and it's not in another month. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, they do get very, very busy. I'm like, girl, I just saw you, or guy, I just saw you at a watch party. Don't make me like nag you at a watch party.
Exactly. Listen, it's not, don't feel bad, because it happens to all of us. I always vent to to other people too. I'm just like, and then they'll call me and I'm like, hey, I've been trying to get in touch with you.
Yes.
Or like, if they need something from me, I'm like, hello.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I knew this was going to be a great episode. Thank you so much for joining me. Everyone, please go follow Sharon and The Exclusive. It's a must watch. So you're on YouTube, you're on Patreon. I did not know you were on Twitch, where can we find you?
That's brand new. I'm learning it, guys. We'll see.
I love that. I love Twitch. I think it translates so well, especially in Big Brother season.
Yes.
But to our Patreon community, Tay, Jenny Rue, thank you so much for your questions.
Shout out.
Jenny Rue, thank you for the incredible merch launch. You can go find those on Jenny Rue's Etsy shop, and the link is in all my social bios. If you're not a Patreon supporter and you want to submit questions for our future guests, and trust me, we have some really good ones coming that are as iconic as Sharon Tharp. The link's in my bio. Come join us. Make sure you are following along on YouTube and Spotify. Like, share, leave a comment, do all the buttons. But this has been another episode of Beyond the Edit. I am Sarah Talks, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.